Big Bubble Radio.
Hello and welcome to the Local Lockdown with me, Neil Stockley, showcasing original artists in your area. Okay, so as you know, every week I like to bring in 2 to 3 different artists. I like to mix up genres to make it more interesting for everyone. And with that in mind, this week is no exception. My first artist I'm going to feature is Sophie Zhakata. How can I give you an idea of what this is going to sound like? If you take artists like Ella Fitzgerald, if you imagine an artist with both raw power but also the ability to be gentle and soft, you know, it's kind of like the perfect light and shade vocal you could ever imagine. So take that as your sort of starter and have a listen to this track and see what you think.
Something like an overdose, listening to every word we say. Tried redemption, but I think it's too late. Our demons we must face, seize, eliminate the darkness in our way. Can try to seduce her. The way you count your money piece by piece. Disregard for fallen brothers is raging in you. Oh baby, can't you see? There's a monster, there's a monster, there's a monster in you. There's a monster, there's a monster, there's a monster in you. See, I am living proof that you can see this through. Cause there's a monster, there's a monster, there's a monster in me too. Oh, yeah. Oh, was corrupted by conceit, extremely self-regarded. Yours is driven by the greed for wealth, oh yeah. Is this power, is this glory? Most want diamonds and a renowned story. Yeah, I don't think it's righteous, I'm sorry. There's a monster, there's a monster, there's a monster in you. There's a monster, there's a monster, there's a monster in you. See, I am living proof that you can see this through. Cause there's a monster, there's a monster, there's a monster in me too. Delusional society, judge and we brawl, riddled with anxiety, come further. Shadow you will stay, for from yourself you cannot run away. There's a monster, there's a monster, there's a monster in you. There's a monster, there's a monster, there's a monster in you. See, I am living proof that you can see this through. Cause there's a monster, there's a monster, there's a monster in me too. Oh,
That track was called Monster. What a cool sound, what great production. Really, really like that. So Sophie Zhakata, as you can hear, real diverse voice. On her website, she describes her style as soul, R&B and acoustic. I kind of, when I first met Sophie and heard her sing, I kind of heard a bit of like, if you imagine Katie Melua, but with like way more of a reggae vibe, with the sort of the chilled out side, but then really being able to get emotion across. That's a great track. I've not seen Sophie or heard her new stuff for a few years, and it's really come on in a different direction, which is great for a musician, who's looking to move forward. You've got to switch it up and try new things, and obviously her style and her talent has progressed far beyond, the sort of parameters of general pop. So that's always good to hear.
The Local Lockdown with Neil Stockley.
Okay, so this next track is Sophie Zhakata with Kevin Richard. The great thing about getting to do this show is I approach the artist and they send me what they've got. They send me, sometimes I might get 2 tracks, sometimes I might get 20. So what I do is I have a listen through and I decide, okay, which ones I like. It's my show, I'm going to play stuff I like. So this next track jumped out at me the second I heard it. I want you to, in your mind, be thinking Mary J. Blige, Lauryn Hill, the Fugees. Think that feel, and see what you think of this. And please do get in touch with me and let me know what you thought of it. As ever, I'll be posting a blog on the Big Bubble website with all of the information to be able to get hold of this music and all the links on social media. Anyway, so this track is Sophie Zhakata with Kevin Richard. Enjoy.
Sick and tired of your games, of all the things you wanna say that got me feeling always. Yes, I'm stuck in the days. I question why I'm living this way. Head on the pavement. Did I try too hard to save him? Did I go too far to wake him up? Give him too much to take him, but at the end of the day, he's the only person ever loved me this way. Is that the reason I stayed, or the reason why I tried to escape? Or maybe I should be brave. Maybe he don't need to be saved. Maybe I should be grateful. I try to be grateful, cause he can be sweet, then he can be hateful. An appetite for arguing, he sets me up playful. The question to me, don't ask me what I bring to the table, baby, yeah. What I am the table. I stand up tall for you when you're not able. I hold you up, keep your emotions stable, baby, yeah, baby, yeah. In my feelings, losing control. In my feelings, oh, it's hard to let go of them, oh. In my feelings, losing control. In my feelings, oh, yeah, oh. In my feelings, losing control. In my feelings, oh, it's hard to let go of them, oh. In my feelings, losing control. In my feelings, oh,
yeah. It's hard to let go. She got me doing all the things I said I'll never do. But my heart splits, picking over red and blue. Cause true love, you see, is something, girl, I never knew. But loving you, you see, is something I'll forever do. So if ever you feel this pressure too, I hope you know I'll always be there in a sec or two. For real, baby. And I promise I will always make this effort too. Just truly treasure you and try to better you. Cause I remember boo, and you remember too. I don't know how on earth we fought through the wind and fire and still saw September through. But maybe my last test for love is really you. You wrote a love letter, so I wrote a letter too. Cause honestly boo, everything we went through had to be about you. And I don't know what else as your man I could do, just to show you the way I was feeling, girl, was really true. My only one was you, but she's still so confused, baby. But now I know that feelings get misconstrued in a world full of fools where two don't wanna lose. But baby girl, what else do we do? I'm still feeling over you.
in my feelings, losing control. In my feelings, oh, it's hard to let go of them, oh. In my feelings, losing
That track was Feeling by Sophie Zhakata and Kevin Richard. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I thought it was a great track. As I said before, the track was played. I definitely heard sort of a Lauryn Hill, Mary J. Blige, Fugees feel going on there. A bit of sort of R&B, hip hop. But yeah, great to play something different. And if you are an artist out there listening to this and thinking, I'd like to be featured on this show, do email me at Big Bubble UK.
Hear local bands on the local lockdown.
Okay, so a big thank you to Sophie Zhakata for letting me play her music. There'll be more from her later on. As I say, if you do want to check her out, please take a look at the blog. All the links will be posted there to SoundCloud, Facebook, to all the outlets you could possibly find in order to hear this great music.
Bubbling over with!
Big Bubble Radio.
The local lockdown with Neil Stockley.
Okay, so now on the local lockdown, we're going back to our featured artists. Our second featured artist today is Baudot, who are a studio collective from Kent. Matt Smith is the main songwriter, bass player, guitarist, vocalist, engineer, producer. If you're not aware, Matt Smith is the genius behind Big Bubble. He wrote all the software, he does the rock show, he does various shows on the station, and this is his studio collective project. Baudot released their first EP in March 2019, which was called Aubergine, and the follow-up, Sealed Air Company, will be released this winter. I'm going to play you a track. Think Frank Zappa, think everything. Just let it go over you, absorb it, see what you think.
Now you are the priest. Now you are the arbiter. Now you are the police. Tell me as your lie. Tell me as your lie. Tell me as your lie. Over again. Tell me as your lie. Tell me as your lie. Tell me as your lie. Time and again. Tell me as your lie. Tell me as your lie. Tell me as your lie. Over again. Tell me as your lie. Tell me as your lie. Tell me as your lie. Time and again.
Bubbling over with!
Big Bubble Radio.
Okay, so that was Sealed Air Company by Baudot. Okay, that song, firstly, let me say, here at the local lockdown, we tried to bring you a wide range of different music, and I think in today's show we may have succeeded there. Anyway, right, so back to Baudot. This track, if you really listen to the lyrics, it's about essentially corporate companies taking control. Matt has also done a fantastic video for this song, which really does visually encapsulate the meaning of the song. I'll put links to all this on the blog that goes with the show. But yeah, the music itself, I love the use of samples, all of which Matt created himself, and really does give you an example of how much of a master he is of this production software. Equally, his mastery of the software is not overshadowed by his mastery of the instruments. Matt played every instrument on this. Let's not underestimate how hard that is. There's double bass, there's several guitars. And he did all this and produced it. And it's a really great piece of work. I'm now going to move on to another piece from the first EP. This next track is called Anonymous Feedback.
Overpaying, dangerous precedents await. Listen to the fourth estate. Under the depths of this madness, hiding your eyes from the sadness. I can see how hard you're lying, shoveling the shit you're buying. Slide, you can't ignore it, it's right to just adore it. The love you will withdraw it, can't contain the pain I'm feeling. Not with all the power you're dealing. Don't you open the floodgates.
Okay, so that was Anonymous Feedback by Baudot, featuring Tony Hernandez on lead vocals. Right, so now you've heard 2 tracks, it gives me a chance to actually, you can actually see the differences and the variation in the styles that Matt can write in and what he can produce. Obviously, the first track, Sealed Air Company, was a much more experimental track, whereas Anonymous Feedback is a much more straightforward, foot to the floor rock track. We're thinking more of a Foo Fighters sort of, I guess, grunge thing. So Mudhoney, Nirvana, that sort of train of thought. Pearl Jam, rather than your sort of softer rock, shall we say. And yeah, what a cool track. It drives. It's a great track if you're in the car, put it up loud and just keep going.
Hear local bands on the local lockdown.
Okay, so a big thank you to our very own Matt Smith from Baudot for letting me feature his music on today's show. As ever, I will put links to both the artists, Baudot and Sophie Zhakata, on the blog that accompanies this show, which is available on Big Bubble UK. It's also available via the local lockdown YouTube page, which I'll also link on the blog. To finish off, I'm going to play 2 more tracks. Thank you for listening to the show. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, do get in touch. And if you're an artist locally and you'd like your music featured, do please get in touch and we'll feature you. Thanks very much for listening.
Bubbling over with!
Big Bubble Radio.
The Local Lockdown with Neil Stockley.